Alright, so in this video I'm going to be going over the second solve in my 23.3 PB mean, and this was a 23. This scramble had a pretty nice EO on normal, so I started on the normal scramble. Here's what it looked like, and I had 4 misoriented edges on this axis. So the previous solve was green front, this one I do orange/red front, and my misoriented were 1, 2, 3, and where's the fourth one? I'm having trouble finding it. Okay, there it is. It's in the back there. So we have like 2 wrong here, which is nice on one face, and then these 2 kind of on their own axes. So very easy to solve EO, just do F, B2, R. And that gave me this, so I didn't have a DR trigger yet. Tried doing quick setups on normal, didn't end up finding anything I liked, so I switched to inverse. And I found that if you just do a U, then on this axis you get 4 corners and 4 edges, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did that. Didn't really like the continuation here, like this is obviously pretty ugly to deal with. So I switched again, and I had this. So my 4 corners and 4 edges are in a much better position this time around. And then from here I was able to solve DR just by doing, so I did like F to move these pairs over here and be able to put this corner in, and U2 to put the corner in, and then we just put this corner in with this block by doing, what did I do? So I did F. Okay, so I'm not even pairing them up. I'm reading the solution on my computer screen if you can't tell. So I did F here, and then similar to the last video actually, I have like this kind of case where we've got like the 4 corners here, and the edges are in like a weird position. So here I did like U prime, which again gave me that like line of pieces that I want. And then to finish off, it was L2, B2, and then D prime. So that was my DR. I think that was, what was that, like 10 moves, 11, something like that. Yeah, it was 11 moves. And it also had good corners as well, because we got a case where we can finish our corners in only a few moves. And that's pretty much what I did. So I just did L2, B, L2, and I noticed like these 2 edges are lined up nicely. So then I finished with, looks like I did B prime, F2, R2, L2, and that gave me a 3-edge skeleton. And at some point in the skeleton, so it was at the point where, so after L2, B2, D prime, after those 3 moves in the skeleton, the cube looked like this. And there's 2 ways to do this in 8 moves while cancelling 2, because the moves that come after the like U prime, L2, B2, D prime is an L2, and there's 2 8 movers for 3 edges that end with L2 for this case. So you could either do F, L2, D2, R2, B, R2, D2, L2, or you could do the same alg, quote unquote, but instead of doing F, you do fat F, and then the next few moves are the same, and then you do fat B, and then the next few moves are the same. So I tried both of those out because that was the best spot I could find to insert edges. And because they both interact with like the post DR step, I wrote them both out to see if one of them would cancel nicer than the other. But I did end up using just the normal F insertion, not like the fat F one. And that gave me a 24, but I also noticed that in the post-DR portion there was a B prime F2 that I could potentially cancel out. And so I set out to do that on both skeletons, and the one using just the normal F blah 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 insertion happened to give me a better opportunity to cancel. So what I ended up doing was I redid my post-DR type like solution, and what I did was, let me see, let me just make sure that this works. Yeah, okay, so let's break that down a bit. So when you look at what I'm kind of doing at the start, it does look like a bunch of nonsense with the moves, and that's just because it's doing the 3-edge insertion pretty early on. So the way I rewrote it was I did the same 4 moves of the insertion, so F, L2, D2, R2, but then instead of doing B, I did basically a wide B. So it was an F, and then I continued from there, so it was D2, L2, and then remembering it cancels, so we don't do the last move. And then here, I saw that I could just finish by doing B, U2, F, R2, L2, and that allowed me to cancel out the B prime F2, and that gave me a 23 instead of a 24. So that's the second attempt, and in the final video I'm going to go over my 25, which secured the 23.3 mean.